rolling through the sand like a thought in disguise. The scarab spins truth where the cosmos collide. Energy whispers, it never says goodbye. The Beatles crawl, the Beatles rise.
Go to AmericanHealer.website now. Get the tools for health and inspiration the way God intended.
Sort of burst the chaos, yet the chaos rise. My name Beatles, 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 over and over, spinning the world in the grip of their shoulders. Beatles, 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 under and over, rolling through time till the blackness is sober. The heat fades lower, the order begins. A stillness so perfect it hums from within. The void sings softly, entropy takes a bow. In the shadow of silence, the scarab knows how. The second law is dancing, feeding life through decay. The third law holds the promise that the stillness will stay. Beatles, 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 under and over, rolling through time till the blackness is sober.
Go to AmericanHealer.website now. Get the tools for health and inspiration the way God intended.
All right, peace to the family. We have one of our Patreon supporters. Wanted me to do this video on wanted us to do this video on, let me see if I can get it this way. This share screen thing is wild, bro. It is crazy. 12:27. Let me try to see if I can at least get the website up. Okay, so we're gonna have to do this in true like streamer YouTuber fashion. All right, you know what? We just rock off the phone. We would just rock off the phone. So shout out to Amber.
Right now is so strange, the symptoms. I started off with a somewhat of like a sore throat, like that literally felt like I was like swallowing knives, and then that went away, and then I had like nasal drip and super stuffy nose, and like.
Can y'all hear that? Anybody in the chat, can y'all hear the audio from my phone? My mic sounds nice. Okay, y'all can hear it. All right, good. All right, so there's definitely a new virus going around, and this is we're doing a reaction to Anton Daniels' video. Amber sent me this, and because she's a supporter, we're doing this video. So make sure y'all join the Patreons.
Virus that's going around right now is so strange. The symptoms. I started off with a somewhat of like a sore throat, like that literally felt like I was like swallowing knives. And then that went away. And then I had like nasal drip and super stuffy nose, and like a lot of sinus pressure. Now that kind of went away. And now I have like my head is super, I have like a headache, no fever though, like the whole time, no fever. I had super bad body aches like throughout my entire body, and it's not a flu, it's not COVID. What else? I think that's it. The body aches was really strange. Like for one day, every time I'd lift up something, like I felt like it was super painful because I did.
Now, let me explain to y'all. This hit my house already. This already hit my house. If you have children in school or you work like a 9-to-5 city job or something like that where you're in the mix, chances are you or somebody you know has already brushed up against this. Now, it can be very nasty from what I'm seeing online for people who aren't prepared to an extent, right? So obviously, if you go to the website, AmericanHealer.website, I'm going to tell you what we did, right? What we did was I loaded everybody up. I loaded everybody up on vitamin D, right? Kylie was the first one that was a little congested, but Kylie always gets congested around this time of the year, so I didn't take it serious. And then Chase had a basketball game. When Chase went to his basketball game, on the way to the basketball game, he said he started feeling weird. And it was somebody on his team that was like coughing crazy, saying they had like neck, tonsil, whatever, the whole neck and tonsil thing. He said by the time they came back from the game, because when they went to the game, it was other people there that was looking. By the time they came back from the game, like almost half the team or 3/4 the team was looking weird, right? That same day, because Chloe's also on the basketball team, she came in crazy. So Kylie, Chase, Chloe, everybody has 3 different points where they contacted whatever this is that's floating around. So they bring it in, and immediately, I put Chloe in the bed. I'm making teas for everybody, whatever. And she's all, she's 14, but she's still like, I don't know how to explain her personality. You know what I'm saying? She's rough around the edges. You know what I'm saying? But she's still like daddy's little girl. Like she's like in a weird, don't touch me, but she wants me to give her a kiss and stuff like that. So I put her down, told her to take an early nap, drank some tea. I put some fruits in it, and I put the antiviral oil in it. So on our website, we have some antiviral. I put the antiviral drops in the tea, right? She drank that, put her down. I was rubbing her back, and I gave her, like when she was dozing, I gave her a couple kisses on her forehead, right? This is an important part of the story, or I would have skipped it. I gave her a couple kisses on the forehead. Within 30 minutes, I immediately start feeling crazy. Within 30 minutes of giving her a couple kisses on the forehead, I started feeling crazy. So the first thing I noticed was like going to the bathroom, peeing, like light diarrhea, So I put the house on notice. I was like, yeah, everybody, you know, plus I got other stuff going on in my house, which adds infinite levels to the madness. So I just put this all looped in together. Like, this must just only be my house. So anyway, what I did was, you know, we used high levels of vitamin D, right? Everybody bulked up on vitamin D. I made the tea. The tea, I used the capsules from the detox kit. I used the capsules from the detox kit. I put the drops from the detox kit in the tea, and then I let them put whatever they wanted to put in the tea for flavor. So we squished up tangerines in it, and we put, you know, flavor packets. They get these little flavor packets of water flavor packets from school because they're on the basketball team. We put that in. Like, I didn't care what they mixed in it for flavor, on top of what I put in it, the mama tonics and the herbs, and then I dropped in a little antivirals. And so that was it. Detox kit, antivirals, vitamin D. And we did that for a couple days. And but there was some dark moments, you know what I'm saying, like where the throat gets real scratchy, you can't swallow. You feel like you having trouble breathing or eating, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, that was it. Then we have the household thing. So it kind of cycled through the household and even hit the dog, and you know, it went a little crazy. But yeah, we managed it with those tools and moved on with our life. You know what I'm saying? But apparently it's moving around.
I had like no energy through my muscles. I've been taking so much medicine.
Oh, that's the other thing. It's definitely like fibromyalgia-ish, right? Your body, even if you don't do anything, your body feels like you ran a marathon. So you definitely feel beat up. You know, you definitely feel beat up. I would suggest for that, like I said, we had the mama tonics, you know, so we had the tea, put the mama tonics in there. That's like our, you know, in my household. I'm not telling you what to do in your household. You might want to go get a real IV. But in my household, that's what we did. You know what I'm saying? We put the tea, put the mama tonics, like an IV, because a lot of times what that is your body is getting very depleted of nutrients from waging war. If you have an aggressive virus moving through your body or aggressive infection and it's taking a toll, you get that beat down, tired feeling. So we just went with it. You know what I'm saying? Luckily, it hit while they were home. You know what I'm saying? For the most part. So it wasn't a matter of missing school or having anything else to do. You know, just drink this, go to sleep. Wake up, use the bathroom, cycle fluids. But every time the fluids is, you know, we enhancing the fluids, and go to sleep. You know, other than that, we might have had a couple pomegranate juice. Oh, I almost forgot a cheat code. I did get a bottle of tart cherry syrup in. So I was adding that as well to the tea. Not tart cherry juice, tart cherry syrup, right? 16 ounces should run you somewhere between $17 and $25. If it doesn't cost that much, then it's not the syrup. You want to get the syrup, and then you want to water it down, right? You want to get the syrup, and then you water it down yourself. You put it in your tea, or you put it in some other juice or whatever you got going on. But you don't want to get the juice. The juice is a waste of money. It's not as antioxidant rich. It doesn't soothe the throat in the same way. And I think it's because it's already pre-diluted so many times. So that's what we use. But we could continue going through, listening to this video.
iPhone 17 in a mouse crate. 3, 2, 1.
What else? Oh, night sweats. It's awful.
A lot of people are saying that it's this new virus that's basically going around, and
Again,
some people are describing it similar to.
We're reacting to Anton Daniel's video. That a sister, she's a supporter on the Patreon. She sent it to me. She wanted me to do a reaction to it. So it just so happens that this virus already went through my house.
Other people are describing it worse than the pandemic. Some people are saying that they actually went and went to the doctor. It's not the flu. And they also took the.
I think that's misinformation. I don't think it's anywhere near pandemic. But I haven't been through it, especially with little ones. I can see how the panic could make you feel like that, because the onset of the symptoms is more aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Like that feeling in your throat, that was kind of aggressive. That was aggressive. You know what I'm saying? So I think the pandemic is like super way more deadly, and like this is not even to I just think that people have PTSD from the pandemic. So from now on going forward, like we lived through an event, you know what I'm saying? Even if some of the event was, media and blah, 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 but we lived through a panic event. It was mass panic. People were scared. People died. We lived through something. So people are they're going to carry that memory with them. And so now anything that pops up, that's going to be like a reference. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think this is that dangerous. But, if you have the ability to, you should make sure that you're just dealing with something that's transient. You know what I'm saying? Now, from all of the videos I'm seeing, everybody was tested to make sure that it's not the pandemic or whatever the case may be, because that to me is a possible real danger, that people could think it's one thing and then it's another, right? So again, be careful, be on guard. If you feel anything, you might want to tap in with your doctor immediately, right? Don't play around with your health, right? I'm just telling you what our experience was, what we did to get through the situation, because, we kind of got through it.
COVID test, and it's not that either, but it is spreading rapidly.
Okay, yeah. He's saying the same thing. Okay, hold on. Let me rewind that.
And that some people are describing it similar to the vid. Other people are describing it worse than the pandemic. Some people are saying that they actually went and went to the doctor. It's not the flu. And they also took the vid test, and it's not that either, but it is spreading rapidly. I actually was doing a live stream, and I was talking about this on the Millionaire Morning Show, and it was several different people that were saying that they were sick over the weekend, and that this thing is actually going around even in the city and in multiple different places throughout the United States of America.
Now, what I would say to that is, and this is just from my own experience, this is an opinion, right? If you're young, right? If you're 25 or under, maybe even 30 or under, you may not have a wide frame of reference, right? But for everybody else, you need to knock it off. Okay. Every winter, we get infections, right? Typically, the flu is that's the name for the family, all of the different families of bugs that we get infected by. But it's 2 + 2 = 4. This is why I make it my business every August to tell people, and y'all think that it's just me telling y'all to go to my website and get the vitamin D. Like, oh, he's saying that just because he's trying to sell something. No, I'm telling y'all because you're in a constant conversation with your local star. A constant conversation. This is why in Kemet, they anthropomorphize these things, and they made it a little bit more literal, for storytelling purposes. But you are in a constant conversation with your home star. And a part of that conversation is UVB. UVB regulates a large part of your immune system, almost all of it, to be honest, because you just have to know how the body works to read into it. Like, there are studies that have been done. Lots of YouTube channels have discussed the impact vitamin D has on like switching off and on genes and blah, blah, blah. But that's not the extent of vitamin D's impact on your immune system. Your vitamin D impacts the immune response in the nasal cavities, which is your primary site of infection when you're breathing in through your nose. Vitamin D impacts your lung health, which is the secondary, like they go here, then there, right? Also, vitamin D regulates cholesterol metabolism. Cholesterol metabolism is responsible for your anabolic hormones. Your anabolic hormones is largely a part of your immune system because that's the regeneration, that's the regeneration cues. And those are the things that fight down the stress hormones, right? So they're in constant competition. Anabolic hormones, stress hormones. Also, calcium and iron. Calcium and iron are large parts of your immune system in different ways, right? Iron in terms of your respiratory system. Now think about that. Iron, respiratory system. Most of what people are dealing with is respiratory infections. Where you feel it at, your nose, your throat, your chest, right? Iron is the key, like that's the land of iron, so to speak, right? Your ability to breathe and get oxygen in and oxygenate the tissues. The reason people are having that beat down feeling like they ran a marathon when they didn't, right? All of those things are related to iron metabolism and respiration. Calcium operates in and through the immune system in a wide variety of ways, right? One of which being switching on stuff and switching off stuff. So you need calcium to make sure that to try to help your body not to develop any cytokine loops, right? And I know you probably are familiar with cytokine storm from news and, certain broadcasts during the pandemic. So you just want to make sure you have your vitamin D through the winter, and if you get an infection, you need to grab you some vitamin D real quick, right? It just so happens that we have it on the website, along with the antivirals, along with the monthly detox kit, like all those things. What we don't have is tart cherry juice, right? So I would suggest people have that in their house over the winter. Tart cherry syrup, not tart cherry juice. A good replacement for the tart cherry syrup is elderberry syrup. That is good. I'm starting to see actual like pharmaceutical companies selling elderberry stuff now. Like that's now in the supermarket and CVS and Rite Aid. That is crazy. Okay, so I'm not going to say stop listening to these goofballs on the internet, but there's a time period where people were telling you that these herbs and things like that is pseudoscience and blah, blah, blah. Now you can go to CVS and Rite Aid and you see that the actual pharmaceutical companies are selling you herbs and herb syrups. So yeah, there's that, right? So anyway, I really didn't have time. I got a lot of stuff going on today, but I thought this was important. And because this is a Patreon supporter that we, knock this video out real quick. So this is not going to be a long video.
I haven't heard anything from the mainstream media or the news about it, but there's this super virus that is basically infecting and affecting people. And
I definitely do not know if this qualifies as a super virus. And so yeah, some of this we got to take with a grain of salt, even though I do appreciate Anton Daniels for like doing a video on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's important to discuss some of these things sometime and just put best practices out there. Best practices do not substitute for emergency room doctor or whatever your family protocols are. You know what I'm saying? But best practices can save a life or help somebody out in the clutch, especially during holiday time where people are traveling. This is the time. See, all these things are so. December 22nd, December 25th, that neck of the woods where the sun is at its lowest declination or whatever that is. You know, the astrology people be breaking it down, and people be showing you the Jordan Maxwell videos about Christ going this and the star goes. What you need to know is that that is the lowest point for vitamin D production. So that is when people's bodies are vitamin D deficient. That is the bottom of the line for vitamin D. That little 3 to 4 day window. And then we slowly, again, the sun comes back and we slowly start getting to a point where we get maximum somewhere around, depending on where you live at, but could be late June, early August, somewhere in that window, we get our maximum amount of UVB. But we don't actually start getting any UVB typically up here in North America. Anton Daniel is actually in Detroit, where I am. Yeah, we don't start up here in New York, Philly, Detroit. We're not Chicago. We're not getting no UVB until April. So yeah, you just saying.
It is keeping them like.
And for those that don't know, without UVB, you do not create vitamin D in your body. So even if you go out in the sun, you're not creating vitamin D. Even if you're listening to the chakra goofballs and they telling you to go outside at 6 a.m. and solar gaze and stare at the sun. Solar gazing in December in New York, Philly, Michigan, Chicago, you're not getting any vitamin D. I just want to help y'all out. None of those practices, you're not meditating vitamin D in through your chakras. You're not solar gazing it in. None of that's happening without UVB. You need UVB to touch your flesh in order to convert cholesterol into vitamin D. So don't play any games with your health. Don't play any games with your children. They don't even want to do no solar gazing at 6 o'clock in the morning anyway. Get you some vitamin D and stop messing around.
On the toilet, throwing up, with diarrhea, body aches and pains. Some of the similar symptoms that you've seen from the vid, but they're saying that they're lasting longer, that is worse, but that is not identified as the vid. And I remember back in 2019, not saying that this is what it is or that it's a pandemic, I remember that everything had shut down. And I was explaining to the people on the Millionaire Morning Show that we don't even talk about what happened during the pandemic anymore. It's almost as though people forgot about it, or it never happened, or it just wasn't a big deal. And I don't know why we just swept it under the rug like it didn't happen, but we act like it didn't happen. And now it's a lot of people that are talking about this. It is all of the above. I mean, it's a call.
Whatever you do, actually wear a mask, because this is terrible.
Can someone please tell me what this sickness is going around? I mean, it's a cough. It's a runny nose. It's a sore throat. It's fatigue. It is can't sleep. It is all of the above times 5. And it lasts forever. Been dealing with it since last Thursday. My wife been dealing with it since Monday.
Okay. Anton Daniel is playing clips of people from Instagram, TikTok, wherever that have come in contact with it. And so he's playing this video of this guy and he's saying it lasts forever. It doesn't last forever. I mean, it can. You know what? I don't know what it does. I know what happened in my household. That's all I could tell you. Right. And in my household, we were not only reactive, but we were proactive because we already have our daily program, which y'all should have, because y'all should be on the monthly detox kit, the detox kit that you get every month to make sure when things like this happen, you already got some sort of buffer of immune. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, hint, hint, wink, wink. Just saying. It's called monthly for a reason. So we already on our monthly, right, and our daily vitamin D and bitters and moss and woo, 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 woo. So I have to assume that the guy is not making it up. he may have a more pronounced effect, or it may linger around a little bit longer for, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, if you're watching me, you guys should be at the web, come on.
Monday, I feel a little bit better. Finally had to take my wife to the doctor yesterday. But what is it? What is this? Is this fluid? Flu and COVID combined? Is this something else? Is this COVID 2025? Tell me what this is. I feel like everybody around me is getting sick. Well, that's why I'm staying out the mix and I'm staying in the house. It seemed like a lot of times that this only happens during the wintertime.
Now, see, Anton Daniel just commented, right? It seems like this only happens during the wintertime. It's not that people only get these infections during the winter. But again, because of the lack of vitamin D, everybody's immune system goes down during the winter. So it just makes you more susceptible to a lot of these things that are floating around. And then people are in more close contact, right? Because you have the holiday window starting with Halloween going all the way to New Year's. So you have that holiday window where people are, going to visit people. And it's not really being around people that's the problem. It's people traveling from city to city, state to state, country to country. That travel brings things and moves things around that people wouldn't necessarily, be exposed to. So all of those things impact. And then also the sun, there are a lot of little creepy crawlies, that the sun itself keeps at bay with UV light. UV light is something that they use actually in certain hospitals and things like that to sanitize surgical tools. Yeah, sometimes it depends, but they'll use UV light to sanitize surgical tools because UV light is that powerful weapon against microbes. So just being in the summertime in and of itself is it's a sanitizing agent in your environment, in everybody's environment. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, don't play no games with your health. Hopefully this video helped you out. You know what the website is, AmericanHealer.website. Get that vitamin D. Don't mess around.
You need that D. Yeah. D with that blue magic. You need that D with that blue magic. You need that D with that blue magic. Theology in a bottle. Calcium electric, I'm magnetic. Your kidney electric, your liver magnetic. I'm talking kinetic. That deep put God in the flesh. That deep put God in the flesh. Say it. Electrons in your bones, stay high on that blue magic, brain glow set, dopamine flow, genes mode activate, orally lit, fall, all spirit low, chakra, inky the doctor, ancient physics streaming on the product, the ketamine and ancient chemistry, biblical fact, bring it back, from the scroll to the lab, from the text to the trap, yeah. Super chest on crowded jeans school. Yeah, run it up. Cash out super chest on crowded jeans school. Hey, tap in, let's go. Cash out super chest on crowded jeans school. Send that love. Cash out super chest on crowded jeans school. Jack score. Hit like button, send those viral. Typing in the chat, that's tribal. Support the lightest cycle. Run it back, flip that title. Subscribe, join the Patreon, level up tiers. Hit the website, we been grinding for a year. Get a bush, that brain, and the bank gets bigger. Copy the URL, make the shares go quicker. Posting on your socials, tag that name. One little share, whole feed in flame. Catch them on the screen, up in that frame. Super chat lit, that's jet fuel flame. Cash out, super chats, I'm proud to just go. Send that love, that love. Cash out, super chats, I'm proud to just go. Just go, let's go. Just go. Come to my YouTube page, don't lag. Bell on locked in, that's swag. Chat going crazy, whole squad in the back. We teaching, we joking, we talk real fast. Linking them ball, you know that code. One click, whole tribe in go mode. From the couch to the glow, that how we roll. Turn views in the fam, that J screw go, yeah. Cash up, super chats, I'm proud of just go. Send that love, that love. Cash up, super chats, I'm proud of just go. Just go, just go, just go.
Share the video, hit the like, subscribe, Cash App, Super Chat, AmericanHealer.website, Amazon. Go to AmericanHealer.website now. Get the tools for health and inspiration the way God intended.
Even when, the vid had took place in late 2019, a lot of people like to say that it happened in early 2020. That's nonsense. I had seen my homeboy get sick from it way before they ever identified anything about it, before they talked about it on the news.
Okay, so what he's talking about now is that the pandemic began months before it was on the news. So again, remember, this is potential PTSD maybe, or this could be something, who knows, right? But you can't overlook the PTSD possibility. And yes, I was aware that something was floating around before the pandemic was officially like kicked into full high gear, January, February. Because I have children, so usually any infection that's floating around, it's in my house immediately, right? And we not scary, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I got children at the time anyway. I had children at every grade level, you know what I'm saying? Now I only have elementary babies and high school children. But yeah, so that opens you up, anytime you got children in public school, that they're going to come in contact with whatever's floating around and bring it right to your doorstep. But the thing is, it doesn't hit news outlets and stuff like that until, it's got to be a chain reaction. So there has to be a bunch of people coming down with whatever. They have to be panicking, going to the hospital. And then the hospitals have to become overwhelmed for one reason or another before it gets to the news. It doesn't just go on to the news. You know what I'm saying? So if you're waiting for stuff to hit the news before you act, that is not the news's fault. That's not the government's fault. Like, that's your fault, right? You should have a cabinet full of, I tell people the Amber story all the time. And, because that's kind of the inception story for Minister / Dr. Inky. Right. But I tell people to not miss the most important part of the story for me. And the most important part of the story for me is that I had a kitchen full of stuff. I would have never had anything to start mixing or even be curious to start playing with stuff to give my daughter in that crisis moment if I didn't already have it, because, like, you have to have stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to order multiple stuff. You know what I'm saying? You can't just order. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, I'm just saying, if people spend more money every month on weed than they do on supplements, or if you spend more money on, weed or drinks than you do on books, or you spend more money on clothes, shoes, or ladies getting your nails done, your hair done, if you spend more money on those things than you do on like books and supplements and things like that, 9 out of 10 times you're going to be good. You know what I'm saying? So it's not going to really register. But it's just that time when you need it, like
Rolling through the sand like a thought in disguise. The scarab spins truth where the cosmos collide. Energy whispers, it never says goodbye. The Beatles crawl, the Beatles rise.
Go to AmericanHealer.website now. Get the tools for health and inspiration the way God intended.
Sort of burst the chaos, yet the chaos rise. My name Beatles, 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 over and over, spinning the world in the grip of their shoulders. Beatles, 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 under and over, rolling through time till the blackness is sober. The heat fades lower, the order begins. The stillness so perfect, it hums from within. The void sings softly, entropy takes a bow. In the shadow of silence, the scarab knows how. The second law is dancing, feeding life through decay. The third law holds the promise that the stillness will stay. Time till the blackness is sober.
Go to AmericanHealer.website now. Get the tools for health and inspiration the way God intended.